Welcome to the part 2 of Beginner's Guide for Dwarf Fortress. My name is Zemalf, and in this tutorial series I'll be building an example fortress showing step by step how to build your fortress and how to help your dwarves survive. In the first part we downloaded, installed and configured Dwarf Fortress, including installed Phoebus graphics package, so go check that out if you missed it and haven't installed the game yet. In this one I will create a new world, randomly generated, and I will choose the embark location for my fortress, telling you what to look for when picking an embark location, especially for your first fortress. You can choose to create a new world with basic options, or you can design a new world with advanced parameters. I will just use the default options in the creating a new world. You can look into the advanced parameters in the Dwarf Fortress wiki if you want. When creating a new world, this is randomly generated, we can choose to change some options here if we want. For your very first game, you might want to change the savagery to low and mineral occurrence to frequent. This will help you find the best possible embark location for your first fortress. But I will go with the default options, everything at medium and sparse minerals. I will press go and the world generation starts. Here we can see that the Phoebus graphics package is active here already. This will look different if you have different graphics package or if you are playing with ASCII graphics. On the left we can see the years fly by, historical figures being born and die, and different randomly generated events taking place. And on the world map we can see some settlements being built and destroyed, roads being generated between the different settlements. And we can then review these when we are choosing our embark location. This can take quite some time. With medium history length it'll be 250 years. So I'll see you in just a second when all this is done. And here we are, the world has been created. And using the numpad keys I can move around the map, look through the different areas, but we'll get a good overview of all this when we are choosing our embark location. You can right here, for some reason, abort this world generation and just create a new one. One thing you might want to do here is export image and info into a file pressing P. So I will do that, and then I will accept this world and going back to the main menu so we can start playing. Before we dive into the game and start choosing our site for the fortress, a few words about the game modes of Dwarf Fortress. In this world we just created, we can either build a fortress, which I'll be doing in this tutorial series, or we can go adventuring in roguelike gameplay of the adventure mode. And we can review everything that has happened in the world, including your own fortresses, your own adventures, in the Legends mode. So in this one world you can have one active fortress or one active adventure going on. When your adventurer dies, or you abandon your fortress for one reason or the other, you can start a new one, either build a new fortress or have a new adventure, and all those events will be shown in the Legends mode. You can create multiple worlds into your save files and then have one active game in each of those. But now let's dive into the fortress mode and start choosing our site. When choosing your site, the first thing you need to decide is that are you looking for an area that is as good as possible for your fortress, or are you looking for a specific challenge? If you are playing your first game or you are new new into the game, you should look for as good of an area as possible, and that's what I'll do here in this tutorial. However, the possibilities are endless when you have played the game a bit. You can find an area that is freezing cold, full of evil creatures, or you can go into a scorching hot area without any trees and very dangerous surroundings. There's no one right way to play Dwarf Fortress. The game is what you make of it. However, I will here in this screen explain what to look for, whether you want challenge or whether you want as good of an area as possible. To find that perfect location, I will use the Find Desired Location option, pressing F. And here I can set a search criteria for an embark area I want. I will be embarking in 4x4 area. I won't choose these savagery or evil options, but if you are a new player, you might want to set these to low and see if you can find an area that is not as savage, and definitely stay away from the evil areas. I will set these at not applicable, however. The only things I will set is flagstone to yes. Flagstone is a stone that together with iron can produce steel. I will set aquifer to no. If you generated your world without aquifers, you have turned them off into options like I showed in the installation video. You don't have to worry about this. But for your first game, do not embark into area with aquifer. Aquifer is a layer of soil or stone in the ground that generates water, and it's very difficult to dig through, even for experienced players. So avoid that, and when we are looking for the area, we want to have no for that. Perhaps the most important thing, especially if you are a new player, are the shallow metals, which means that there are metal ores close to the surface, and this option set to multiple increases your chances of finding iron, or at least guarantee that you find something like copper. To add to that, we do want to have some deep metals, but that is not totally necessary. However, I will see if there are such areas in this map that have multiple of them as well. I do want to have some soil in the area, which means that the stone doesn't start immediately below the surface like in some mountainous areas. However, I won't set that here in the Find Desired Location screen. I will use just this criteria. When I press enter, the game does the search for me, and in the world map we will see those red X's appearing and some green ones as well. Those are areas that match my criteria. And then I will go into those areas and look something that is not too dangerous, it's not evil, it's not too savage, the temperature is not freezing cold, or it's not scorching hot. And there is no aquifer in that area, and so on. And if possible, even that I didn't set that there should be a river, I might want to have a flowing water, but that is a bit optional. Okay, so search is done. I will press ESC and I will browse these results. Right here in this area, we can see that not in single biome you can have, or very rarely you find in a single biome those flagstone, deep metals, shallow metals. But if I press the F1, F2, F3, we can see that we have the temperate conifer forest here that has deep metals. We have a not so pleasant sounding desert of nails which has shallow metals, but there are no trees there. And then we have on the other side as well the same desert with some flagstone. If we look at the local map, we see that this temperate conifer forest actually covers most of my 4x4 square. I do also have a little bit of river there in the top left corner, but and the surroundings are calm, so this should be very good actually for a new player, because those desert squares are only very rare there. However, I will look for something else for a new player. Also, as I'm looking here for an easy option and kind of a good embark area, this temperate conifer forest biome is heavily forested, unlike the Badlands or the yeah, it was same Badlands, Desert of Nails. Trees are scarce, or even that there are no trees. That is fine as a challenge, but for a new player, you want to have some trees. You want to have as many trees as possible. The other vegetation is not as critical, because you can go without picking any herbs, without doing any surface farming, so you don't necessarily need that. And since the surroundings are calm, that means that this is benign neutral surroundings, and things you want to avoid are the evil surroundings, sinister, haunted and terrifying, and also the savage neutral, untamed wilds has a higher chance of evil creature being there. The evil creatures can wander in to any embark area from the neighboring areas. So no area is completely safe, and you will have goblin sieges or sieges unless you go into some isolated island or something. And even there, over time, it is very likely you will have some invaders coming in, unless you disable that option in the installation. Okay, but now we need to decide, is this the area for me? The biome Badlands has shallow metals in it. The other Badlands biome doesn't have, and they are only there in the very edge of my area. And this main area, temperate conifer forest, named the Forest of Metal, actually doesn't have shallow metals. It does have deep metals, but since the flagstone and shallow metal in this area are so a small part of my embark area, I won't be choosing this one. Just out of because I just noticed it, I won't be embarking here, but if you look at this red red circle here, just above the flashing X in the region map, that is a volcano, and that is something that many players like to embark to, because dwarves can make a whole lot of use of magma. However, I won't go here, but it is not too often that you see a surface volcano. If you do, it will look something like that, depending on the graphics package you are using, and it will show in the information screen. You can see that there is a volcano here. But anyway, I'll continue looking through these areas here, checking what kind of biomes there are, and pressing the F1, F2, F3 looking for areas. Here we have an area with mountains on the north, and these can sometimes be very interesting embark areas as well. If I'd chose this one, I'd have the very top of my or the north of my embark area would be mountain, and then I could kind of build there in the front of the mountain my fortress, and this wouldn't be that bad actually. But again, there's only a shallow metal and flagstone in that mountain area, and then I don't have in the majority of the embark area the shallow metals I wanted. The area would be calm, so this would be a relatively safe place to build. And here we have hot biome, temperate shrubland, named the Hill of Scars, and we have a solitary jungle where we have the deep metals. This could be a nice embark area. We have warm in the north, we have hot in the south, and we have shallow metals, we have deep metals, we have flagstone, we have heavily forested area, we have woodland. We have calm surroundings, so yeah, definitely a possibility. And one thing you can do here is set nodes with N key. And then I will add nodes, press enter to enter text and write possible embark. These will only be saved when you save or abandon your fortress. So if you abort the game from this screen, these won't be here. But I mark it like that, so when I clear the find results and those flashing green X's disappear, I still have that area as one possible one. Deep metals, shallow metals, again warm. Okay, we have on the northeast we have a dwarven settlement right here. But here I have deep metals, flagstone, shallow metals, hill of scars, and we have a little solitary jungle there as well. This is also an interesting area. Again, calm surroundings, relatively safe. I'll add a note here as well. And in case at some moment I do want to build into that volcano, since it's not shown on the world map, you might forget that it's there. So I will mark that here as well, in case I want to build another fortress into the same world into the area with the volcano. So here I will say volcano embark possibility. There we go. Right. I'll pause the recording and come back in just a second when I have found the actual area I want to go to. Alright, here I think I have found my embark area. It is consisting two biomes, a temperate conifer forest with plenty of trees, shallow metals, deep metals, some soil. Surroundings are wilderness, so they are not calm. There will be a high chance of some wild animals, but it shouldn't be too dangerous, since it's not any untamed wilds or any evil biome. And then we have temperate shrubland, the polished hills, where we have also shallow metal, we have flagstone, and there in the local area I can see that it's there in the middle of my area and then in the southwest. Surroundings wilderness there as well, and it is woodland, so there's trees there as well. The vegetation is moderate on the woodland and thick in the temperate conifer forest, so if I want to pick herbs, they'll be there as well. There is no flowing water here, but that is optional, and you pretty much only need it if you want to build some water power there using water wheels or something. But here I won't go into area like this. That I'll pick this one. I'll add a note here. Tutorial fortress, because I want to show some other things here as well. So I'll find that. I will clear the locations now from the search. I talked about the evil creatures and dangerous areas, but I didn't show it. This is actually a pretty rare looking world map, because I don't see too much purple. And if you look at this green there in the region map, we can see one purple shrub. And if I move the local area, okay, there it is, we can see that this area is sinister. That is it's on purple, so it's an evil surroundings. Sinister is the benign evil. It's not neutral evil or savage evil, the haunted or terrifying. But these are very nice areas, especially the terrifying, if you want a nice challenge. Because in these areas you can have evil rains that turn your dwarves and any other creatures or even their body parts into very dangerous creatures. These lands will be full of undead creatures instead of normal animals and so on. So not an area to go with your first game, but later on definitely a whole lot of fun. Dwarf Fortress trademark. And other thing I wanted to show you was here in the south. We can see we have some polar ice here. There are areas here that are freezing. Again, extremely challenging environment, but something you might want to go to if you want extra challenge. And similarly, there are deserts that might be scorching hot, and those can be a very nice challenge as well. Okay, but let's go back to my site and see what other information we have on this screen. If you look at the world map, you can see there are blue dwarves in the south. That is the civilization I have at the moment selected. So if I press Tab key, the information part on the right will change. We can see that in this area I have neighboring dwarves, neighboring goblins that we are at war against. We have elves and humans, which means that I'll be getting trade caravans from dwarves, elves and humans. If you go into an island which has no connection to any elf or human civilization, you might not get any traders from them, so do check your neighbors. And it is possible to find an area without neighboring goblins, and then it'll take a long time for you to get sieges, at least usually. It's somewhat random, but it'll take a bit longer time if you don't have goblins next to you. Pressing Tab again, we can see my civilization, and those are the blue dwarves I mentioned. So at the moment I have the scoured lass selected, and if I press the numpad minus and plus, I can change this. The first thing you want to check out and make sure is that your dwarven civilization has many settlements. So there's 7 now, these guys have 5, these guys have 7, there's 7 as well. You want at least 3, more the merrier, because if you pick a civilization without any settlements or less than 2, you might not get as many immigrants as years go by. Also, the items available to you in the embark profile setting when you pick the items, which will be the next video, the selection of items depends on this civilization. So when you choose to embark and you don't find some items you really want, for example you have some special challenge in mind and you want some specific ore or something and you don't see it, you can come back into this screen and change the civilization and see if those guys have the items. But you need to find your location again. These guys, the green lancers, are here around this area that I have chosen, so I think it makes sense for me that this is my civilization. So I will choose them. If I press Tab again, we can see relative elevation in the area I have chosen. And then, well actually, just a moment, I will disable my nodes here. Delete. Yes, because I couldn't see my selected local area there. Now it's those flashing explanation marks are a bit confusing. Okay, let's press Tab again, and we can see the relative elevation of the area. And these numbers mean how high the ground is. In this local map, we can see some 7s. There are high cliffs. There are some medium cliffs and hills. But this area I have chosen is pretty much slopes and maybe low cliffs or even flat. So it's easier to manage your dwarves and the area if it's as flat as possible. It's because of the interface, it can get really confusing if it's very cliffy. But anyway, this is the embark area I will choose, and I'll see you in the next video when I set the starting skills for my dwarves and select the items I will take with me, and at the same time save myself an embark profile.